In the year 2000, Zaccheus could be found in a park on 17th Ave in Calgary slanging weed by the half and quarter pound. Unlike now, I had cash falling in my pockets. My crew controlled that park. We locked it down, we swept it clean. Only sold shrooms and weed, and we kept the fiends out the good part of town. But every now and then, one would sneak into our park under cover of dark, curl up under a tree, and then come stumbling free around 9:30 when I showed up to start my 10 o'clock shift. Now, provided said crackhead didn't give me no lip, I'd say wash up, Now, provided said crackhead didn't give me no lip, I'd say wash up real quick in the fountain, then leave. Maybe toss up a joint, $4 for something to eat. But this one sunny Sunday in the hot summer heat, I show up for my shift, and sure as shit I see Chief. Now, Chief's what we on the street like to call walking dead, because he's way past crackhead. He's cracked soul, he's cracked spirit. He's so cracked, you can hear it. He's got open sores on his face bigger than the quarters he begs. Someone cut off his left thumb once they broke both his legs. He's got every disease, epilepsy, strep, HIV. Must be writing a book, because he's got Heps A through C. And now I hate to see someone living like that. And I hate to think that no one's giving a rat's ass about what happens to Chief. But we've spoken at length and I feel no grief. Like me when I was a fiend. He chose his own path. But unlike Zaccheus, he never rose up from the wrath. 3 decades hard blasting, man. You do the math. At 55, you still think the world owes him a living, that everyone's wallets must just be forgiving of his terrible odor, diseases, addictions, and rags, detritic miasma, urine steeped sleeping bag. So creeping Chief staggers out from under a tree. And it's a wonder to me that the guy's even alive. The man stands 6'3", but his back's bent to 5'5". And now I've played out this scene in my head countless times, and no matter how hard I try, I just can't make it rhyme. So I'm simply going to stop and say that day, I saw Chief make his way towards our park fountain. 8 feet wide, maybe 2 feet deep. In the center, a small metal stem sprays forth a parabolic arc of water approximately 3 feet in the air. Chief's wounded hands met the immaculate marble stonework almost sinfully. And as if in rebuttal, when he leaned forward to take a sip, he slipped, smashing his mouth on the spout. The sound of enamel on steel proceeded to splash, which I naturally followed with a laugh until I realized that Chief had failed to resurface. The world slowed down. I knew that without my immediate help he would drown. Now my first thought was still, what if this happened on purpose? I mean, I'm not one to say that a man's life is right worthless, but Chief's life's not really a life, it's existence at best. It may be a fascist, but I say it's mere resistance to death. He can't outdistance his breath, he can barely stand. He's more walking biohazard than he is man. And so I struggled with thought. Who am I to judge versus, hey, why the hell not? Maybe this is his way out. I can't say for sure that it's any more peaceful than dying of AIDS, but somehow I doubt that he thanked me today. Nonetheless, I still snapped, ran up and transferred him from pond to lawn, and there's the sun shone upon shattered teeth and remnants of lip. I see the Chief's not breathing. Now here I got myself quite a choice, because first off, Chief's just laminated in crud, not to mention the fact that I'm sitting here covered in some of Calgary's most contaminated blood, and I'm supposed to perform CPR on this mess? I couldn't do it, so I just did my best. Chest compressions and head to the side. I kept on thinking, God damn, I guess this walking dead just died. But sure enough, he took air, and I just stood and shook there, staring down at my hands, and this shattered excuse for a man thinking, what the fuck have I done? My first thought was to run, so I hopped on my bike and was home in 4 minutes flat. No one was there when I burst in the door, scared the crap out of the cats, and went straight to the shower and stripped down in the tub. For the next half hour, it was hot water and bleach. I stood there and scrubbed till it burnt. Then, of course, I returned to my park to see what was going down. There was cops and paramedics and guys in white gowns like that scene from E.T. And then 3 EMTs come rush up to me and say, are you the one who pulled them out? Are you the one who pulled them out? We need you to follow us. Have you been in contact with any other people? We need to know. Have you been in contact with any other people? For my troubles, I got the world's biggest stress test, 3, 6, and 12 months later, and miraculously managed to fail with pride. Not so lucky for Chief, I'd like to say that he died, but 3 years later I came back to town for some drum and bass, and sure enough, I ended up coming face to face with Chief. Beyond all belief, he looks a million times worse. And given the opportunity now, without a doubt, I put time in reverse and let himself submerge till that poor bastard drowned. Because if it's change versus choice, and one can't choose to change, then one's living to die. And it's wrong and it's strange of us to suffer their suffering, and when asked offer nothing. I mean, yeah, sure, humanity's cruel, but it should also be loving. Besides, shoving $3 in his hat don't help, Chief. He needs a hospital bed and some social relief, addictions counseling, and a warm place to die. So instead of tossing a toonie while passing by, I try and contribute to AIDS research, lobbying my provincial government for higher welfare rates, and donate what cans I can to my local food bank. Damn straight, I get a few thanks in return from the panhandlers I spurn on the street, and I'll never learn of my meager contribution to their well-being and betterment. But I know that it's their best interest I've got in mind when I shape the structure, hoping that it'll be a little bit better when it's been rearranged. Because me, I'm just a piss-poor poet who can't afford to be making bills to help feed people like Chief. But as a whole, humanity can't afford not to make some change.